economic recovery effort that we have at our own end, it is an initiation of the private sector, which we on our own considered would complement government-owned segment of economic recovery. The government economic recovery program is tailored to move from now to 2020. They have their own parameter and their means of getting that ongoing. But the private sector would not think the way government is thinking, because government gets free money in doing whatever they do, and they spend it which way they like without proper guidance or control. Now,
they'll disagree with that. They say, number one, they've got budget, they've got processes, so wherein comes
now,
this?
When you say budget, sir, we are mid-year, and the budget is not running yet. And as of today, I wouldn't want to believe if the government that has said earlier they are going to borrow XYZ to fund the budget deficit, and today they're saying they're no longer going to go the way of external borrowing in funding the deficit of the budget. And I can tell you that the government do not even have the means of funding the budget, because the only source of revenue in addressing the budget is through oil and gas. And as at today, because of the current situation of the price of petroleum, in the external market, they can only fund the budget through that source, not more than 25% through oil revenue. And when you say 25% is what you get from your only mono source of inflows, then you have about 75% overhang. And now we are being told that the only medium to get that solved is by taxes. And now when you want to embark on taxing your own persons within the economy, you must create what is called progressive tax system. As at this year, we are creating this level of opportunity. And when this is created, we are going to impose XYZ, tax level. By the next year, this would have grown this much, and we are going to increase that percentage. So we now know how much we are getting by taxation, and that will be used in funding projects in subsequent years.
Do you think that the tax option will work in the short, medium, or long term?
Well, I think we are creating a kind of, in statistics, we have what is called scatter diagram. You plot a graph of every policy or actions of government. There is no positive correlation. So that whole process is scattered. There is no segment of the plan that have been designed for this country for some years back, say about 7, 8, 9 years, that has gotten the effect positively on the economy right from when it was, from time of conception to time of delivery. And when the time they set as targets to deliver such deliverables, there's no benchmark to watching what they said to do and what they've achieved.
Right. Now, the acting president did say that the private sector has a huge role to play, so they have identified that and they intend to work with them on that. What key areas has your Economic Recovery Committee identified with which you can then complement for government? Excellent.
Now, if the government is now coming to their senses, now realizing that the private sector ought to be in the driving seat to create what is called a sustainable economy, then they need to partner with the private sector. In some developed economies, 50% of the business activities are deliberately handed over to the private sector operators. But unfortunately in Nigeria, we have two sets of private